Should I stay or should I go? So it's taste.
Welcome back. Well, any day we're expecting the Supreme Court to rule on the constitutionality of President Obama's health care law, and the decision will have huge implications for 2012. Today, Nancy Pelosi defended the legislation, comparing it to the principles of the Founding Fathers. Listen.
It's about life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness for the American people because it frees them, that unlocks them from a job that they may keep only because of the health benefits to pursue their happiness.
But most people disagree. A new poll shows that 68% of Americans want either the mandate or the entire law overturned, and only 24% want the law to stay as is. So, Dana, it sounds like the administration has huge problems on their hands. If the Supreme Court overturns the mandate, then they've got to fix it, and it looks like they've wasted the first 4 years. And if they don't, then a bill that's very unpopular is still in place, according to this poll.
First of all, let me say congratulations to Nancy Pelosi, because the former speaker, she served 25 years today, and they had an event for her. One of her most famous sound bites was that we're going to have to pass the health care bill before we can tell you what's in it. And that didn't sit well with most Americans who, over the years, have said, wait, this is not getting more popular with them. The more they realize what's in it, they don't like it. Let me give you one example. There's in Obamacare, there is a medical device tax. Basically, now what you have is everybody realizing, holy cow, this will destroy America's medical device industry. And so now, on a bipartisan basis, they're looking for floor time right now so they can come up and strip it out.
Dana?
How many other things are in there?
Dana, did they say exactly what medical devices they were talking about?
Are you worried about the taxes or they're going away?
I'm asking for a friend who has some specific devices
issues
that he sent away for recently.
I think you'll be okay. You'll be grandfathered in.
The Supreme Court ruling is going to be very important. Roberts has said that one of his greatest goals is to ensure the integrity of the court. He votes against this thing, he's going to ensure himself a bad place in history, number one. Number two, let's remember there are 18 million Americans who now benefit from this law today who will not have insurance today if the Supreme Court rules. That's a substantial constituency. The mandate, let's also remember, is a Republican idea. It is not a Democrat idea. It is a Republican idea. So if they vote it down 6-5, it's a hack vote. Or 5-4, it's a hack vote. It's as simple as that, and they'll go down in history, well, along with the court that ruled in 2000.
All right, so if the Constitution is upheld, you say it's a hack job. Meanwhile, there's nothing in the Constitution. There's nothing in the Constitution that says a president, a Senate, and a Congress can mandate you buy anything, Bob.
Two conservative appeals courts disagree with you. Two conservative appeals courts disagree with you.
And at least one, maybe two, agree with me. So that's why it's in the Supreme Court.
The two appeals courts that rule are conservative.
Can I take you number two?
It's a hack job.
This is what happens when you have a Democrat president, a Democrat Senate, and a Democrat House. You push something through that ends up 2/3 of the country doesn't like.
No, it's not 2/3. Angie read that thing. You know what she read there? Look, 68% of the people are against it. She didn't write that either they like it or they want pieces of it. We're 61%. So you say not 68%.
That's not right.
It does. No. Look at they had them together. 55% of the people either they want to overturn the mandate.
Only 24 want to keep the entire law.
68% either want just the mandate overturned or the entire thing.
And who says overturn the entire law? 41%.
Greg, I want to play some Romney sound for you and get you to react. Romney is going to come out and he's going to say, especially if this thing's overturned, you wasted 4 years. You should have been focusing on the economy. It's going to be a strong argument. Listen.
The idea that they knowingly slowed down our recovery in order to put in place Obamacare, which they wanted and they considered historic, but the American people did not want or consider historic, is something which I think deserves a lot of explaining.
Here's the deal. If you look at the leftism as a wagon, one wheel has come off. That's Occupy Wall Street. The other wheel, the recall, has come off. The third wheel is healthcare reform. That comes off, Obama's left with a unicycle. What you're witnessing is the morning after. America took home a crazy grad student, and now they're waking up and they're going, what did I do? You're watching leftism fall apart. This is his last hope, Bob, is healthcare reform.
We waited for you to say that.
I want to ask you something, Bob, because the president came out recently and said, I need a second term to fix Obamacare. Isn't that a tacit acknowledgement that it's flawed?
Anything that's this big does require some work on it. But what Romney neglected to say was, you spent 4 years taking my bill that I had enacted. It is now in action. It is a Romney bill. And I don't care what Romney can hide from this and duck from it and shoot his mouth off like he does, but he's got to take responsibility. It's Romney's health bill. It's exactly what Romney
That would have been an interesting way for them to have sold it to us in the first place. Instead, it was sold as Obama's signature domestic policy achievement. Now they don't want to blame it on Romney.
Was it or was it not tailored after
This is like the
Massachusetts
blame it
law?
on Bush thing.
Was it or was it not tailored on the mandate out of Massachusetts?
You know what, Bob? Guess what? It doesn't matter. And there's 68% of the people who say they either want the entire law overturned or the mandate overturned.
And 55% who wanted to either keep it or
I don't know. I can't do math. 68 and 55.
Well,
also, who are the 18 million people who are benefiting today?
The kids who are going to college.
The adolescents, basically the adolescents into adulthood.
I know we got to go, but
who don't need it? Well, you might not need it.
One thing that no one's talked about recently is that the CBO has upped their projection of how much it's going to cost, and they increased it by another $250 billion.
And you,
I don't know.
So now the price tag.
Here's the problem. All right, then. If this goes down, then I want you all and Romney to get together and tell us exactly what you're going to do to fix the health care problem.
Absolutely, 100%.
Absolutely,
Okay,
and there's already, and you always say there isn't, but there's already plans put forth by members of the House of Representatives to tackle this.
And more important,
those are jokes.
If you're not for government programs, it's not up to you to come up with a government program.
Okay,
we don't have to.
Fine. Then continue to pay all the money you're paying for health.
No, we come up with private ideas.
Oh, private ideas.
Yeah, private
health insurance.
Bob, this bill
There's
has
a trustworthy group of punks.
They can compete. They just like car insurance.
They don't compete. They collude.
Well,
Bob, you came back with so much energy. We have to go to break, though.
They're just a bunch of colluding bums.
I would point out, folks, premiums have gone up 9% since Obamacare was passed. Directly ahead,
Yeah.
Planned Parenthood is
And 41%
opening
before.
a clinic inside a California school and advising high schoolers on sex. Now, they could be coming to a school near you. Details on that when we come back.